Hi you guys, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Sharday. If you're returning, welcome. Here on this channel we talk about girl chats, all things leveling up, self-care, fragrances, hygiene, all the things that we love and enjoy. Today's video is going to be some of the things that I have learned in my 20s that have been really crucial to my development, the way that I think, the way that I act, the way that I see myself, and just the overall standard that I hold for myself and that I want you guys to take and apply to your life as well. I am in my late 20s, currently 28. I will be 29 in a couple of months. I've been doing a lot of reflecting, a lot of journaling, and just overall entering into a new era, which we will be doing a new series on that, so stay tuned. Just transitioning into womanhood, and these are all of the lessons that I plan on taking with me. So number one is to never let anyone or any situation dim your light. There have been many times within my life and within my 20s that I have let men dim my light. I have let friends dim my light, family dim my light, just a lot of overall situations dim my light. And when I mean dim my light, I mean just not being confident, not being able to truly be myself and move forward in who I want to be, how I want to present myself, and just overall changing the outlook that I had on myself. And I do not want that for you guys. One thing that I've learned dimming your light really affects is the way that you approach your goals, the way that you go forward in the vision that God has for your life. Honestly, breeds fear of failure, fear of success, fear of being seen, all of the things that prevent you from actually leveling up in your life. And it's really important to be really mindful when your light is being dimmed so that way you can make the appropriate adjustments in moving forward. My next thing that I've learned is that your relationships are what you make them. I think going into my 20s, I had this misconception that not necessarily whatever will be and whatever's meant to be is meant to be. Relationships actually do take work and they actually do take effort. Just because you have chemistry with a person, whether that be romantic, platonic, relationships take effort. It takes you to be present, have selfless moments, but also it takes for you to actually have boundaries as well. Relationships are some of the most rewarding things that you can work toward in life. It adds so much vibrancy to our life, purpose, it adds community, it adds a sense of connections. Going into my 20s, I definitely allowed things to fizzle out when they necessarily didn't need to, especially regarding friendships. They may have probably fizzled out over time just because there were other factors that contributed to growing apart, but I wish that I would have put a little bit more effort and gave it my all in different situations where I can really look back and say that this truly was just not a good fit. But I think a lot of the times we allow chemistry to be the end all be all, and that's not always the case. My next point is that you are your greatest investment. I cannot say this enough. The way that you feel affects the way that you show up every single day. It affects your discipline, the way that you talk to others, the way that you perceive how others talk to you. Because if you are a person that does not put anything into yourself and you're truly relying on external validation to feel good about yourself, to feel good about your overall life, to feel like you're pretty, to feel like you're this, and to feel like you're that. If you allow all of that to be totally dependent on external things and situations, you will be greatly disappointed on multiple occasions, quite frequently. Investing into all areas of your life, you invest into your looks, it's going to pay off. You invest into your home, it's going to pay off. You invest into your finances, you invest into your friendships. All of the things that you don't necessarily see come back with return right away, they somehow come together for your complete overall story when you look back and you realize that the decisions that I've made to invest into myself back when I was 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, even with my education, are now paying off today. It's all of the investments are honestly going to affect your confidence, affect your money, affect your relationships, affect your whole lived experience. That brings me into my next point, and it is to do the things you need to do in order to do the things that you want to do. I wish I really would have grasped this way earlier in life. At this point in my life, I'm doing the things that I need to do, even when I don't feel like it. I do show myself grace, but not so much grace to where I'm just completely falling off. You get what I'm saying? In order to have a good career, have a good job, have flexibility with your decisions regarding work, in order to wear the clothes you want, in order to show up on camera if that's what you want to do, whatever it is that you want to do, do the things that you need to do in order to feel good when the time comes for you to blossom into the person that you are meant to be. My next point is, just because it's not popular does not mean that it is not for you. Authenticity is becoming a lost art. Mysteriousness is becoming a lost art. Now in the age where on the internet people overly share, they overindulge, anything that pops up on their feed they want. Let's say that you find something that really speaks to you. Let's say like a style, right? I am coming more into a bohemian, natural, nature kind of style. I love texture. I love sleeves. I love flowy things. I love silks. And let's say I'm loving all of this, but the new trend is clean girl aesthetic, or it's sambas, or it's whatever it is. You have to do what speaks to you. Because when it's all said and done and you spend all of these years doing whatever the trends are, hopping on this, hopping on that, you will look up one day and realize that you really don't know your own individual identity, your own individual style. If you're so reliant on what society tells you to like, what they tell you to buy, what society tells you to think about your body, what society, all the things, right, to do with your hair. Truly do things that speak to you and fit your vibe, and create your own vibe, create your own aesthetic, be your own goals. My next point is to pivot, rebrand, retry, reset as many times necessary. This is a really big one because 20s are really pivotal, because you really do change at different points in your 20s. From 19 to 20, I was like young, wild, and free. 20 to 21 was really pivotal. I was really starting to listen to a lot of pastors speaking. I was listening to sermons. I was listening to a lot of YouTube videos that were just speaking into my life on a more spiritual level. And a lot of things had happened during that time, right? I went to college, did poorly, was on academic probation. My dad was sick. I came back home. I was out of state. I came back home. And that was heartbreaking for me. I felt like a failure. I felt like I didn't know what I was doing, right? I didn't feel smart. I didn't feel all the things that I shouldn't have been feeling. I got fired from my job. I had to get a new job. Then I had to commute, blah, blah, blah. 21, my family moved to Arizona. My dad was diagnosed with cancer. As soon as we moved, 8 weeks later, he passed away. Also around that time, I met my fiance. So things were hard, things were shifting. I was happy, but I was also sad. Didn't know who I was. I was trying to grind it out because my dad was my safety net. He was my security blanket, all of the things. And as I was transitioning from 23, 24, 25, I was all about the materials. I wanted the materials. I felt like the materials were going to make me happy. They were going to make me finally feel like I made it, make me finally feel like everything is working out in my favor. I wanted all the bags. I wanted it all, right? As I started to transition into 26, 27, I'm like, what am I doing? I've shifted so many times. Just because you didn't get it right the first time, second time, third time, fourth fourth time, fifth time. I may not even be getting it right now, but at least I have a clear understanding of what I want out of life, what I don't want, my values, putting God first, really basing my values off of godly values and trying to align those. I know that I can't go wrong. All of those things have come to that conclusion based off of what I've been through. So yes, you have to go through it, but I just want to remind you to not let that discourage you, and that it's just the beginning. My next point is to not be too stuck in the past, not be too stuck in the present, and not be too stuck in the future. I used to be so far ahead in the future that it was ridiculous. Back in my mid-20s and earlier, I was nowhere near the present. We tend to get really caught up in the future, and we seem to miss the opportunities that are in front of us, the fun and memories and good times that are right now, and even the hard times that are right now that we can honestly reflect on and learn from, and honestly prepare, get that together so that way we don't have to deal with the same stuff moving forward. I just want to say juggle it. Like, yes, be reflective. Yes, be present, but also consider your future. My next point is to be decisive. Being decisive will get you far. Decide on wellness pillars. So you're going to be healthy, be a kind person, prioritize your mental health, be decisive on these things is a non-negotiable. When you are not decisive, you can be thrown and tossed to and fro based off of whoever is influencing them at that time, how well your boundaries are set. How can you set boundaries if you don't even know what you have decided on? I have decided that you're not going to be disrespectful towards me. I have decided on being a healthy person. Therefore, I'm not going to do drugs. I'm not going to be putting myself in unhealthy situations. These are pivotal moments where your decisiveness is really going to get you far in what you do with your decisions moving forward. My next point is to stop shrinking. Oh my gosh. I truly feel like everyone has some kind of a passionate side. Everyone has some kind of something that makes them excited about something. Everyone has a voice, but not everyone is brave enough to use that voice, to have that voice be shared, even if it's to protect themselves, right? People please, people let people walk all over them. Like, people are afraid to speak up even for themselves. And I just want to tell you to stop shrinking. I promise you it's going to be scary at first, but as you exercise that muscle, it gets a little bit easier, and it gets a little bit easier, and it gets a little bit easier. Not saying that you have to go through life not giving a, because I think a misconception that sometimes people in my real life have about me is that I don't care. And that's my freaking problem. I care too much. And that's why I'm so passionate about myself. I don't play about me because I care deeply about myself. I don't play about others. Like, if I see injustice being done to others, I will speak up. And if there's repercussions, you speaking up about your boundaries, you saying that something's making you uncomfortable, and then you're fearing that that person may not like you anymore or have some whatever. They weren't meant to be within your bubble, within your circle, within your environment. If that is the case, if they cannot respect to not hurt you and not respect that you are your own individual self, then that person should not be disturbing your peace. Nothing is worth disturbing your peace over. Like I said, unless it's really to like be about a cause for real, then that's worth it, because it's bigger than you. It's more than you. It's about a collective. It's about a message. It's about people, right? That's worth disturbing your peace over. But when it's like, oh, I don't want them to be mad at me, I don't want them to not be my friend anymore, I don't want them to not blah blah blah, like that's not worth disturbing your peace over. But also know that once you stop shrinking, things are going to shift, things are going to change, and that is okay. That is the whole point. That is the whole point. My next point is that maturing is a choice. Growth does not necessarily come with age. There is a correlation there, but one does not cause the other. Hopefully hopefully with experiences, learning, reading, growing, having conversations with other mature people, with your elders, all of the things, hopefully those things will help to mature you. But you really have to make it a point to want to be mature in order to mature. When I was younger, I was young and dumb. Granted, I'm happy I had a young and dumb moment. I think we all kind of deserve a young and dumb moment. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Sometimes you really do have to see what's out there to realize that it ain't all what it's cut out to be. It ain't all glitz and glam, and everything that glitters is not gold. You have to decide to mature. You have to decide. Decide that things are going to be different for you from this point forward. You may not see it right away, but if you're actually taking those steps to get to a certain point, it will happen. It's the law of attraction. It will happen for you. Lastly, do not spin the block. Don't do it. Don't do it. Y'all, I am so glad that I have finally come to trust my intuition and trust my spirit guide within me, the Holy Spirit. There was a point in time where I second guessed everything. When you second guess every little thing, you don't know what the heck you're doing. You don't know if this is good, if it's bad. Your intuition is telling you it's bad, but somehow you flip it and you make the red flag be pink. Just doing the most. You finally have the courage to separate yourself, and then now you're reflecting back like, was I tripping? Why are you gaslighting yourself? Let it go. Do not spin the block. You notice that you're healthier now. You notice that you're happier now. You notice that you have more peace. You notice that you blah, blah, blah. Why do you want to bring toxic, negative, nasty energy back into your life? Because you've had space and time away. So now you think, oh, well, maybe it was just me. Maybe I was going through a hard time and that's why the situation was toxic. Clearly, there's a tie there. I want to remind you, especially now that we're going into fall cozy cuffing season, do not spin the block. Okay, get a heated blanket if you want to be warm at night. I want to leave you guys with that. Hope that you enjoyed this video, and I love you. Have a good day.
Something to buy,